Yo, welcome back to the Further Your Lifestyle podcast, conversations on lifestyle, passions, and hustles. My name's CLFurlong. I am your host, and I'm super excited to be back here having the conversation with you. Episode 110 today, and we're talking about the common issue that I think we've all experienced, procrastination. Now, I'll be the first to put my hand up and say, I do it all the time. I don't know why I do it, and we're going to talk about that today, but how often, and you can probably relate to this, we know the thing that we need to do, yet we tend to take the long way around it, or we beat around the bush, or if we had just done the hard thing that we had to do, it would have been done. Yet we try and find it easier, or we get distracted, or we find some other way of trying to get to that point, yet it actually would have just been quicker if we'd done it the other way. That to me annoys me so much, yet I continue to do it. We're talking about this today. That's what we're going to dive into. So if you want to know how to get through it, how to handle it, why we do it, and overcome it, this is the episode for you. Let's dive in. So who remembers during school days, during your professional career, even today, and also at home, who remembers the last time when you procrastinated? We probably do it way too often, and it's like a dirty little habit. And it's something that we know it's there, but we don't necessarily do anything about it. Again, we procrastinate in actually doing anything about it. And it's so easy to avoid in doing something. When it comes to procrastination, we take it on as it's so easy to avoid doing the thing that we have to do. It's so easy not to do it because we fall victim of procrastination. But why do we do this? Like, why do we do it? What causes us in the first place to do this? How do we overcome it? Why should we overcome it? Why should we even worry about this? And I'm going to kick off with a quote first, and it's from Martin Luther King Jr. It says, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step." And I think this is absolutely super important to reflect upon when we're trying to actually deal and handle with procrastination. So why do we do it? Why do we procrastinate? Now, some of this might be familiar to you. Some of this might resonate with you. But, I did a bit of research and I looked around. What are some of the top reasons that we do procrastinate? Like, why do we do it? The first one is the fear of failure or success. We procrastinate because we don't want to have to deal with the outcome that it might bring us. Makes sense. It's deep. It's psychological. We also have a lack of motivation or not interested in doing it. I know that's very common when it comes to something that we don't understand the value of doing it, or it's too much hard work and would rather play video games or something. The other one is it makes us feel overwhelmed or stressed, which is fair game. I understand that. Maybe we just have poor time management skills. Maybe we're looking for perfectionism. Maybe we lack the clarity or direction, or we just have too many distractions and interruptions. Now, I understand that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and we can likely dive deeper into each one of these, but we're not going to do that today. But what I want to ask you is, out of those, do any of those ring any bells? Anything there sound familiar? I know for me it does. There's lots there, and I'm not here to say that I've got all this figured out. No. I'm here to share and have the conversation with you because procrastination, it kills us. It really does kill our ability to be able to become a better version of ourselves, but we don't necessarily know it. It's a silent killer. So what do we procrastinate? What do you procrastinate? I looked up the top 10 things that we procrastinate, and we're going to go through this list and tick off or do a little hand raise for something that you procrastinate. I'll do it too, right? Work-related tasks, all the time. Household chores, all the time. Health and fitness goals, not as much. Actually, health and fitness goals, I'm doing that more than ever. Like, I do my running, so that's not too bad for myself. Financial planning and budgeting, nope, I'm on top of this one. Making important decisions. I don't procrastinate it, but I probably overthink it. So that's a whole different, can of worms. Personal projects and hobbies. Yes, there's some of those that I procrastinate. Relationship issues and difficult conversations. To be honest, don't have any relationship issues that I'm aware of. And I've learnt to just have the tough conversations as soon as possible. But in the past, it was something I always used to delay. Studying or continuing education. So I was pretty studious, but I haven't also studied for a long time, so I can't really speak for this one. Responding to emails and messages, if I know it's something that's going to have to create extra work and I don't want to start that work yet, then I'll delay it. And then number 10 is planning and organizing for the future. Now, I like to think I'm on top of this. So there's quite a few. There's probably 5, probably a 50% hit rate right there. What about you? How many of those did you tick off? And I'm not here to make you feel bad, right? I'm not here to bring you down. I'm here to help us understand that we have work to do. And that's what I want to help you with. I want to give you some alternative perspectives of why procrastinating is destroying our chances of something bigger and better. One, it's like a credit card. It's a lot of fun until you get the bill, right? We tend to use credit cards to delay having to pay for something, but then when we have to pay for it, if we don't pay for it, there's big consequences. That's what procrastination does. It's also like a thief that steals your time and opportunities because things compound over a long period of time. If you're not having a conversation with someone, if you're delaying, dealing with an issue, it can compound and it can blow up. And it becomes very, very bad, and it can steal time away from you and opportunities later down the track. Similarly, procrastinating is like a poison that slowly will kill your dreams and goals because you continue to move away from them. And it's also like a dead weight that drags you down and prevents you from reaching your potential. It holds you back. And that's why I want to make sure you understand why it's so bad to be procrastinating. Now, again, I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to help you understand why we should be doing something about it. So procrastination, number 1, often leads to missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. I think we know that. Yet why do we continue to do it? Because we've spoken about it. Because we're scared of these things. We're worried of the effort it's going to do. Maybe it's not going to be as what we expect. It's not what excites us. We don't understand why we're doing it. There's a lot of reasons there. But when we put off important tasks into the last minute, it also leads to rushed work, which leads to lower quality results. Procrastination can also create unwanted anxiety and stress, which is our own fault because we leave things to the last minute or we procrastinate it, and then all of a sudden we're stressed, our mental cap becomes full, and just things don't work in our favor because we're overwhelmed. Procrastination also has an impact to our relationships, but also to our reputations to the people around us. And it can also hinder our long-term ability to achieve our goals, because the more you put off it, the easier it is to say no, so the easier it is to not do it. Therefore, you will not make a good routine or a good habit. So they're just some of the common ones. So naturally, what are the important reasons of why we should overcome it? That's the next question. Naturally, it is. Like, why should we even bother? Right? Because when we don't procrastinate, when we achieve conquering procrastination, we're actually able to accomplish more things. We're able to get more things done, which sounds great. We can get the things that we want. So why don't we overcome them? It can reduce the stress, right? It reduces the anxiety. It improves our time management and improves our productivity. It also helps us build self-discipline and confidence, which is going to enable us to increase our creativity and innovation. It also will improve our relationships and our reputations and give us a life of fulfilling and satisfaction. I mean, it sounds so good. All those things are so good, but I also understand that it's hard work. And that's probably the reason why we procrastinate. But the question is, do you want these things? Do you want to have a better way of living? Do you want to have a better lifestyle? Do you want to further your life? So how do we overcome it? How do we achieve this? If you want to make a change, these are some of the things you can do to overcome it. One, we need to identify what is the root cause in the first place. And I think we've kind of covered this. We've understood, why is it that we're actually procrastinating? But once you've tapped into that and understand it, we can then start to tackle that. We also need to then, when we want to go achieve something that we know we need to do, but we're procrastinating and doing it, is break it down into something that's more manageable, something that's more easy to consume, something that's easier to digest. That is the trick there. If you've got a big mountain climb ahead of you, you've got to take one step at a time, right? You can't be running up the hill unless you like running up hills. That's a whole different conversation. We also need to make sure we're setting achievable things with realistic timelines, right? Again, if you know that is a big mountain you're going to have to climb, you want to take your time. Get comfortable with how long it's going to take you to do and chip away at it consistently. It won't be as overwhelming. Again, re-emphasizing a lot of these points is we need to create an environment that is going to help you succeed. So put yourself in a position that helps you, Surround yourself with people that's going to enable you. We also should leverage positive self-talk telling ourselves of why we need to be doing this. Why does this make sense? Why is this going to help us get to where we want to be? And then if we can develop a habit of actually taking action rather than delaying. So setting rules up, like if it takes 2 minutes, do it then. If it's only going to take us 10 minutes, do it then. You have to set what your time limit is, but it's like, we have rubbish. We chuck it to go to put in the bin, yet we don't do it, right? If we actually get up and just put it in the bin, it's in the bin. Rather, if you're sitting somewhere and you're just chucking rubbish there, by the end, you're going to have now pick up 10 items of rubbish and put them in the bin, when you could have just done it straight away. It's going to create more work, or you're just kicking the bucket down the line. Also, prioritize tasks that make sense. Now, I understand that prioritizing tasks can be a little overwhelming, but you need to learn to do this on a smaller scale first before you can start to do it on a daily basis. Eliminate distractions. Eliminate the things that are in your way of getting to where you want to be. Eliminate them all. If you know that your phone's going to cause you to stop and, look at TikToks or videos and stuff, put it on focus mode, put it on silent, hide it, put it in another room. Create an environment that's going to enable you to be productive, get into that workflow state. You can also reward yourself for the progress that you make. So if you're hitting your milestones, if you're ticking off boxes that you hadn't been ticking off, reward yourself. Create a system that works for you. And the final one is practice mindfulness and meditation to cultivate a way to reduce stress and keep yourself calm. Now, I do want to be very frank here. I understand that a lot of this is all, yeah, that's great, Chris. You can say all these things, but are we actually doing it? And that's why at the start of this episode, at the front of this episode, I made sure I called out that I don't have this figured out, right? But over the last year and a half of building my own business, I've realized there's so many things that, imagine if I was doing the things that I do now that are leading to better results, if I was doing them at the start. Now, some of those things I did know, yet I didn't understand them, or I didn't see the value of them, or it was more overwhelming than actually getting the reward. It was too scary to achieve, or what if it didn't work, or I didn't know how I was going to go about doing it. But there comes a point where you need to start to stretch yourself. And what I mean by that is, if you want change, you have to change. You can't expect the change to come to you. So you're going to have to get a little uncomfortable and figure out how you're going to make that change that you want come into life, come into being. And a lot of the time, procrastination really is we're just kicking things down the line because we still end up having to do them. Or we miss out on the opportunity and then we have regret later. We can tie this back to having a conversation with, that cute girl or guy that we like, right? We're too scared to do it, so we miss out on an opportunity. If we had just gone over and asked, hey, you look nice, I'd love to get to know you, or whatever it is, maybe it's their personality, or maybe they smiled at you and you want to compliment them, whatever it may be. If you're asking for their number or to have a chat to them, the worst case is no. Nothing changes. You get rejected, but nothing actually changes. You've now got the confidence to go do it again. You might have been rejected, but don't dwell on the rejection. Dwell on, hey, I got it done. Whereas if we actually didn't do that, the next time we go to do it, we're like, we don't have the confidence to do it, therefore we don't do it. Now, I'm not going here to, give you, romance or relationship advice. I'm using it as an example. It's the same thing with our chores. The longer we delay doing our chores, the more chores we have to do. And in the long run, if we don't do them, there's consequences. There's dirt, there's mold, there's smell. Things start to build up. If you don't mow the lawns get bigger. Now, there's ways that we can manage these through techniques or ways of working, whether we can outsource these things. We can pay someone else to do it for us so we don't have to do it. Now, that's not procrastinating. It's still getting the job done. It's just getting the job done in a way that makes sense for you. So there's lots of ways that we can go about doing this. It's not necessarily, you just eliminate distractions and you'll have it all figured out. I understand that it's quite hard because we're so used to having these distractions in our life. Therefore, to just push them away all of a sudden is easier said than done. But that's why you have to build a plan. That's why you need to actually have a tangible understanding in your mind that I want to make a difference. So please understand that I don't do these episodes in saying I've got it all figured out, because I really don't. A lot of the time I talk about these things because they're relevant to what I'm going through. They're relevant to things that I'm struggling with, or relevant to things that I've had to deal with in the past, and wanting to make sure I can help others or talk to others about them. That's why I say continue the conversation. That's that. So procrastination, what are you going to do about it, right? What do you want to change? How are you going to fix it? That's what I can leave you with. I can give you all this insight. I can give you these directions. I can give you the pros and cons and all the things about it. Again, it comes back on you. You can find ways that you can fix it, right? As I said, outsource some of your problems, get other people to do it for you. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a whole lot of things that you are responsible and accountable for, and you're the only one that can do it. So I leave the ball in your court. What are you going to do about it? And if you do want to continue this conversation, let's have a conversation. Let's chat. Reach out to me. Leave a comment. If you're here on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Otherwise, you can reach out to me on speakpipe.com/furtheryourlifestyle, and you can leave a voicemail. And you can leave your thoughts, your comments, your insights, your things that you're struggling with. You can hit me up on Instagram as well. I'm more than happy to continue the conversation. Let's do something about it, people. Let's help each other. Let's create a space where we can do this. Procrastination, silent killer. It will take over your life if you do not control it, if you do not take over it yourself. Whether it's in work, whether it's in school, whether it's in life, whether it's with your relationships, whether it's with the things that you want. Don't let it become a filthy little habit. Overcome it and use the time that you would have been procrastinating to actually make the progress that you want. Really do appreciate you being here. Again, let's continue the conversation. Reach out. Otherwise, you have a wonderful day. Cheers.